sometimes men or human beings, we are at times want to reinforce or to reassert our authority. And for many individuals, particularly men, they believe that the best way in reasserting one's dominance or one's authority is through the use of violence. And I want to say to you today that, especially our young men and men, that we do not need to use violence, as it were, to make known or to register our presence or to register our role in the house or in the community. It does not make us less of a man if we are respectful and caring of our women, our girl children. It does not make us less of a man if we talk more, if we discuss more, and if we today, as we seek to do, declare that we will not inflict any form of violence on our women folk and our girl children. And I say so because historically, Guyana, we have been more of a macho society whereby we think, and perhaps we were led to believe, that the man must always dominate, and the man is the boss, and that in any relationship or any arrangement, it is either the man's way or no way. And I want to say to all of us that we must get rid and we must reject such notion, because we live in times, and even out of simple humanity, whereby it is no longer about who dominate. It is about partnership. It is about, as we talk about a relationship, and a relationship, for one to be successful, it is not about one partner dominating the other. It is not about one partner saying, I am in charge. It is not about one partner saying that if you don't listen to me or you don't do what I want to do at what particular time, you will see my true colors. It is not about that. We have, as a human, the family of human beings, as people belonging to a civilized environment, we must come out of that thinking. We must come out of that backward thinking, whereby we believe that the only way in which we can make ourselves felt is through the use of violence. And all of us should feel strongly about that. Even if there were times in which we were tempted, and there were times in which, especially to my fellow men, even which you thought that the best thing to do was to use some form of violence, it is not too late. It is not too late to stop. It is not too late to stop. Because worldwide, we see the instance and incidents of violence against women and our girl children, not only by parents, but also by men who I want to call deranged and sometimes perverted men. We see too many instances of this trend increasing. And in Guyana, and starting here at this very historic and very important community in our country, we have to take a stand. And the Skeldon Declaration gives us that opportunity to take a stand, to stop the trend, and to stop the trend right here too in Berbice. Because as a Berbician, and as a male Berbician too, I'm also concerned, because if you look at the national statistics, it shows that you've seen a greater percentage of increase in terms of reported cases of domestic violence occurring right here in this great county. And I'm happy that the Ministry of Human Services and the Men Empowerment Network, they have started this exercise right here in Skeldon. It is not about stigmatizing the men of Berbice. It is not about stigmatizing any particular group. It is not about condemning men. Rather, it is about inspiring and encouraging, and the men here in Berbice showing that they are man enough to do something about the social problem. And I want all of you who are here to feel proud about that fact, because I know there will be a few of those who would want to criticize even this simple and very important act, saying that the ministry or even the Men Empowerment Network are seeking to stigmatize or embarrass the men in Berbice or here in Skeldon. It is not about that. It is about men here in Berbice and Skeldon demonstrating that they are real men, and real men do not inflict violence. Real men do not inflict violence against women or even our girl child. And whilst some of the forecasts show that globally 1 in 4 women will feel some form or experience some form of violence, I want to say here that Guyana, we have always been known to be, as it were, pioneers. We've always been known to take the right action at the right time in many spheres, economically, socially, and the environmental front, on the political front. But I also want us, through this simple act that we will be doing starting here and across the country, to show the male community globally that we can, as it were, reverse that trend. And that in Guyana, every single day, every single month, every single year, we will dedicate and declare ourselves to reduce the violence and to eliminate the violence against our women folk. And Guyana, where at the end of the day, can be used as a model where the men in our society declared and dedicated themselves towards the eradication of violence against women and our girl children. And I want us here today to see this, what we're doing here this morning, to see this as the start of developing and building a model and supporting the ministry, supporting the number of NGOs that are involved in this activity, that we can make a difference. And I want to say, also to remind you, and especially a special word to those men who might believe that the only way they can deal with their issues is through the use of violence. When you harm a mother in front of your children, especially the boys, what you are doing, and indirectly, not only you're psychologically scarring that child or the children, but for the boys, you are in a way inspiring and nurturing that child, that boy, to also to perpetuate violence when he grows up and when he becomes a husband or in other form. So what you are doing also is that you are reinforcing a negative tendency amongst our boys. And I want for us to bear that in mind too. Because none of us would want our sister, none of us would want our mother, and none of us would want our daughters to face any form of violence by anyone for any particular reason. And I want us also, the men who might believe, and I'm not condemning you, but rather this here is seeking to help you. Because as I said just now, it is not too late. It is not too late. And this type of event and this particular initiative gives all, not only helps us in preventing violence, but it also helps us in stopping and even reversing violence against women where it exists. So I want to join and to also to give my not only word of support, but also to inscribe my signature too on this declaration, and do hope that all of you here and the men not here who could not be here for one reason or the other, you too will be inspired by this initiative, and that at the end of the day we will all work work to make our homes free of violence, every single home, our community, our country, and at the end of the day, our Guyana, we can have a society in which we're not only free of violence, but also in which we respect the rights, in which we respect especially our women folks, and at the end of the day, it can lead to better social and economic development of our country and also of our personal well-being. Once again, I wish to commend this initiative and do encourage all men to get on board. This will not make you less of a man. In fact, it will make you more of a man. Thank you very much.